Ever wondered how the Parliament of South Australia came into existence? This is a story that takes us back to 1857. It was then that the Parliament of South Australia was established, a bold endeavour in the name of democracy. The Parliament was designed with a unique dual-chamber system, a reflection of a thoughtful balance of power. This system comprises the House of Assembly and the Legislative Council, each playing its own crucial role in the legislative process. The House of Assembly, often referred to as the lower house, and the Legislative Council, known as the upper house, work hand in hand to represent the interests of the people. This setup wasn't just a random design. It was a calculated move, a strategic plan to ensure that the voices of South Australians were heard, that their interests were represented, and that legislation was passed on their behalf. So, that's how the Parliament of South Australia was born, setting the stage for a new era in Australian politics. But how did the Parliament evolve over time, you ask? Well, the evolution of South Australia's Parliament is a fascinating tale of resilience, reform, and revolution. It's a story that carries the echoes of a colony striving for democracy, justice, and equality. One of the most significant milestones in the evolution of the Parliament was the suffrage movement. In the latter part of the 19th century, a wave of change swept across South Australia. Women, who had been sidelined in the political landscape, began to demand their rightful place. Their relentless struggle bore fruit in 1895, when South Australia became the first Australian colony to grant women the right to vote and stand for Parliament. This was a monumental victory, not just for the women of South Australia, but for women all over the world. But the evolution didn't stop there. As society changed, so too did the Parliament. It adapted and transformed to reflect the changing needs and values of its people. Legislative changes were made, laws were amended, and old practices were discarded. One such change was the introduction of secret ballots. This was a significant step towards ensuring a fair and unbiased electoral process. It provided the voters with the assurance that their vote was confidential, and it protected them from any potential coercion or influence. Another key change was the introduction of single-member constituencies. This move ensured that each electorate had a single representative in the Parliament, making the democratic process more straightforward and transparent. So you see, the evolution of South Australia's Parliament wasn't just about laws and legislations. It was about the people of South Australia, their struggles, their victories, their aspirations. It was about their journey towards a more democratic, just and equal society. From suffrage to secret ballots, South Australia's Parliament has continually evolved to reflect the changing needs and values of its people. But what about today? What does the Parliament of South Australia look like in the 21st century? Well, the Parliament of South Australia is bicameral, meaning it has two chambers. The upper house, or the Legislative Council, is comprised of 22 members, while the lower house, or the House of Assembly, boasts 47 members. These members hail from a variety of political parties, with the Australian Labor Party and Liberal Party of Australia being two of the most prominent. The responsibilities of this Parliament are threefold. First, it's tasked with legislating, which involves creating and amending laws. Second, it scrutinizes the government, holding it accountable for its actions and ensuring transparency. Lastly, it represents the people of South Australia, voicing their concerns and working towards their betterment. So, that's the Parliament of South Australia today, a vibrant institution that continues to serve its people. So, what can we take away from our exploration of the Parliament of South Australia? Well, we've learned that the establishment of the South Australian Parliament was a monumental event, setting the stage for democratic governance in the region. It was a process that was unique, as it was shaped by the ideals of fairness, equality, and freedom, principles that still guide its operations today. As we traced its evolution, we saw how the Parliament adapted and evolved to meet the changing needs of the society it serves. It's a living institution, always growing and developing, just like South Australia itself. In its present form, the Parliament continues to uphold its core function of representing the people of South Australia, making decisions on their behalf and working towards the common good. And there you have it, a brief but fascinating journey through the history and workings of the Parliament of South Australia. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning.